Hello, everybody. I'm trying to make sure I'm live on it. Okay, I am live on Instagram. Hey, Nancy. If I'm not looking at my Instagram camera, it's because I'm looking at the Facebook one. I'm trying to do them both at the same time simultaneously. So thank you to everybody that has joined so far. I'm going to get started for the sake of time, and you can go back and watch the replay. But I am Tammy Moore, the Diamond Diva, Division President at Diamond Residential Mortgage and owner of Tammy P. Moore and Associates. And I have been toying with this for over a year. I come on, I do a live, I go off, I don't. And so I made it, my word for 2019 was intentional. And I'm like, 2019 is not over yet. And what made me do this live, and it's so many things that people ask me or that I talk about or help someone with. And I started making a list earlier this year, actually at the beginning of the year when I set my goals. I started making a list of all the things that people ask me, like about credit, about buying a house, about how to tie a head wrap, or fashion questions, cooking questions. And I had a list, I'm not kidding you, of about 70 to 80 things that I could talk about. And I had spoke with my team earlier this year, and I'm like, I'm going to start doing Facebook Live videos and or start putting them on YouTube and sharing this information, because people ask me these questions all the time. Can you guys see me? Okay. Hey, Nancy. People ask me these questions all the time. And, so I have an audience, so I want to share this information. So let's see who joined. Hey, Erica. Hey, Helen. Hey, Philip. So what I want to share with you is what sparked me to do this is I recently have done loans for a couple of couples that are in their 70s. And both of them have rented. One has rented for over 20 years, and the other one has rented for over 30 years. And these lives are not going to just be about buying a house. I just want to say that out of the gate. I'm going to be talking about faith, fashion, finances, fitness, all types of different things. So, but this is what sparked it. So I asked one of my customers, I said, why did you decide to buy now? And he said, it's never too late. He goes, I'm still breathing. He said, I've wanted to do this for a long time. He said, and even if I only live in the house 5 years, I have something to leave to my children. He goes, right now, I don't have anything to leave to them. He goes, in 5 years, maybe the house will be worth more and they can use it to bury me or something. And I said, well, what took you so long? You've been renting for all of these years. The house that they live in now, they've rented for over 20 years, just in that one place alone. So they literally paid off someone else's mortgage almost. And he said to me, I just wasn't consistent enough, with my goals. And so that's what I want to talk to you tonight about, is being consistent and persistent for 2020. 2020 is a year of perfect vision. And if you think about it, how many of us actually thought that we'd even be here in 2020? Remember when it first was 2000, we all thought the world was going to end? Well, here we are 20 years later. Here they are 20 years later buying a house after they rented for 20 years. It just spoke to me. It did something to me. It's never too late. It's never too late to reach whatever goal you set for yourself. And I think about this. The last month, I have not worked out consistently. I go to the gym, I work out with a trainer, and I haven't worked out consistently, and I gain weight. So why would I think that I'm going to lose weight if I'm not consistent? Consistency applies to every area of your life. It does not matter if you want to lose weight, if you want to save money, if you want to get your finances in order, if you want to better a relationship. You have to be consistent, because whatever you do on a consistent basis, you perfect. So if you're constantly spinning your wheels, or you're constantly dropping the ball or not following through on something, you're not going to get the results. So consistency and being persistent is what I wanted to, focus on tonight for 2020. 2020 is a year of perfect vision. I've spoken at a couple of seminars and I've said, whatever God has put in you, it's time to birth that vision or that dream in 2020. This is your year to just stop procrastinating and to do what you have to do. I mean, I can even take me, for example. I have a million ideas. I mean, I've sat back and I can give you all an example. Charm and Charlie's. Does everybody remember Charm and Charlie's, the store? I had that idea years ago before Charm and Charlie's even existed. I called it Matchy Matchy. I bought the domain matchymatchy.com. I had the idea of when you walk into a store, because I like to coordinate. When you walk into a store, that if you wanted something blue, everything there would be blue. If you wanted something purple, everything there would be purple. Did I act on it? No. All I did was buy the domain and sat on it. Charm and Charlie's has made millions, went bankrupt, and went out of business. And here I am still sitting on the sidelines watching someone else go forth with a vision that you have. And I'm not the only one. God says he gave everybody a gift. Everybody has gifts, one gift or gifts, multiple gifts. So stop sitting on your gifts. I was watching Oprah one time. Michael Jackson was on there, and he said he would get up in the middle of the night when God would give him a song and he would write it down. And he was afraid that when he woke up in the morning, he wouldn't remember. He said, and if I don't write the song down, he's going to give it to Prince. And it was funny to me because I love Prince. Everybody who knows me knows I love Prince. My nephew loves Michael Jackson. But if you sit on whatever God gives you, it's going to go forth. So he is going to give it to someone else. So I have some notes here that I wanted to just make sure that I don't forget. Your progress, your paycheck, your branding, your network, your finances, your credit, your relationship, all depends on you being consistent and persistent. You are not going to get what you want by not following through. And you can, listen, there's 12, at least, I tell my husband all the time, there's 12 businesses in me. Hands down, don't know when they're going to happen, don't know what order they're going to go in. There's 12 businesses in me. But I'm never going to achieve what I need to achieve if I'm not consistent. And I'm not going to be able to do them all at once, because you need to devote time to one thing at a time. Not necessarily right now I'm juggling 4 different things. I have my Tammy P. Moore, I have my mortgage business, credit, but I try to master all of those. But if you don't hone in on what's in you, what the gifts that God has given you, and he didn't just give 12 businesses to me, he gave everybody a million ideas. The difference is you're sitting on the sidelines and somebody else is implementing them, being consistent. Now, you might look at a 70-year-old couple and say, why would they go and buy a house now? Why would they wait until they get 70 to buy a home? I look at it completely different. I say, why not? Because they're still breathing. And just like you said, real estate is always a great investment. So 10 years from now, they have equity. Right now, we're in an excellent market. Homes are appreciating about 5 to 7% per year. In 10 years, they will have a lot of equity in the house. What will they have renting? Nothing. A security deposit. And guess what? They have been persistent and consistent in paying somebody else's rent. So why not pay your own? We have to change how we look at things. I have one of my mentors who just retired. She's 70 years old. She just turned 70 last Friday. She wants to be an actress. Now, most of us would say she's in retirement age. Why would she want to be an actress now? Why not? Why not? I will be 50 next year. I feel like, hey, life is just beginning for me. I know who I am. I'm confident in who Christ created me to be. And it took me a long time to get to that point. Why not? Why not do it? I can think of a million reasons why you can't do something. Find one reason why you can. Let's see what else I have on here. This is the other thing that I decided that I'm not going to do. So my word for 2020 for me is consistency. I want to be consistent in everything that I'm doing, in every project that I work on, and I want to follow through. They always say it takes 21 days to create a habit. So it's going to take you time. We are in a microwave society where we want everything right now. And if it doesn't happen right now, we feel like it's never going to happen. That's what our problem is. It's not going to happen when you want it to happen. It's going to happen when God wants it to happen. What our responsibility is to trust God and allow him to order our steps. He will prepare a table for you. He will put you in front of the people that you need to be put in front of if you trust him. But now you can't be shabby. And I'm going to go back to finances because that's my baby. Finances are my baby. And I always use this as an example. You cannot not manage $50 and be asking the Lord for 50,000. He's not going to give it to you. You got to show him that you're faithful over the small things first. No different than the 70-year-old couple. Maybe God made them wait, just like he made Sarah wait to have a baby until he could trust them with the bigger house, with the not renting, with saving. Just like he said, he told me, I would save here and I go back and get it. I would spend here, I would go back and get it. I make plans. I say every year when I get my tax returns, I'm going to put money up to buy a house. Something else will be more important. He said, I just stopped myself and said, when am I going to reprioritize my money? I have the money. I just choose to spend it on something else. We do this all the time. All the time. I look at customers' budgets. You have the money. There are people out here who are living above their means, and there are people who are seriously, really struggling, that are living paycheck to paycheck because they have no other options. That's not most of you. Guaranteed. On Instagram, it's not most of you. Most of you have the money, you have the means, you have the wherewithal to have whatever you want in life. You have not changed your priorities. And I'm going to tell you something. I heard Frank Walker say this years ago. If it's on your it's not an asset. If it's on your ass, it's not an asset. And I'm not cursing because that's in the Bible. It's not an asset. Just reprioritize what you want to spend your money on, and you will get what God has for you. But if he cannot trust you, he has to be able to trust you. And then we're emotional. I'm not an emotional spender. I'm very intentional with my money. And I told my mom the other day, and I told my husband, I said, something's going on with me because I've been spending aimlessly. Like, I have a clothing budget. I stick within that budget every month. So emotionally, I'm dealing with some things. I'm dealing with my family's, someone in my family, my mom hasn't been feeling the greatest. And when you can't control things, you go to the one thing you can't control. That's why people stay on drugs. When everything around them is out of control, you can control what you put in your mouth and what you spend. That's why I gain weight, because I haven't been in my regimen. I've been out of my element. I've been all over the place. And I'm just keeping it real with you. Sometimes you have to take a step back and check yourself, because 99% of the time, issues, it's you. You're the problem, and you're the solution. So to go into 2020 again saying what you're going to do and not putting action behind it, it's not going to work for you. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for sending prayers to my mom. It's not going to work for you. You need to be consistent and you need to be persistent. Whatever you want is on the other side of your comfort zone. I'm sitting on the couch right now. Nothing is going to come in this bedroom and fall in my lap. I have to go get it. This is the other thing that we're afraid of. And I'm speaking for myself because I have to check myself first. We are afraid of asking for help. I made a list of all the people that I have encountered throughout the years that I have helped in some type of way or that I know, all of my network. And here's the thing, I will do anything. If somebody's in need, I will give them my last, but I'm afraid to ask for help. What is that? It's pride. Sometimes we just feel too prideful to ask for help. I made a list and said, if I want to do this in 2020, if I want to take it to the next level, listen, I'm licensed in 12 states. I want to land in every state that I'm licensed in. I want to help people repair their credit. I want to help them become homeowners. I want to help them become financially free. I want to help them to come out of financial bondage. How do I do that? I got to ask for, I don't have a contact in all 12 states. Actually, I do, but I don't know of venues in all 12 states. You have to ask for help. Pride comes before the fall. That is a lot of our problem. We will bend over backwards for everybody else around us, but we won't help ourselves. So what I want to do on this live, in addition to trying to give you some nuggets of information and some tidbits, if you will, is I decided that every time I come on a live, I'm going to feature a business, a Black boutique, a small business. And today I'm wearing Stay Fresh. This is my shirt. I don't know if you can see it on Instagram. It's owned by Dante Brooks. He came out of our church in 1 Corinthians. I put his information in there. Every time I see somebody Black doing something, I try to support them. Because if we don't, who will? And when I saw it, it said Stay Fresh. I thought it was fresh, so I bought it. You know what? We have to support our own without asking for a discount, without asking for a hookup. We have to support them simply because they have good products. I love what I have on. I've coordinated it really good. Got my little earrings to match, but I want to do that. I want to be the change that I want to see. If I'm asking people to support me, if I'm asking people to support all of my business endeavors, we must do the same. We must do the same. Nicole is on this live right now. She has been life-changing for me. I was having a lot of issues. I have Crohn's disease. I had Crohn's disease. I'm in a remission right now. But she introduced me to a lot of essential oils through Young Living, real essential oils that actually help you. It's like you have a network of people. We are talented beyond our wildest imagination. But when we don't ask for help, and listen, you don't dim your light by letting somebody else's shine. God owns everything. If he put the gift in you, your gifts will make room for you. So supporting someone else is not going to take anything away from you. It's just going to show God, look, I can give kudos to somebody else, and I can be a blessing to someone else. God will bless you if you're a blessing to others. So let me see what else I have on here. If there's any topics that you want to hear on here, just list them. Like I said, a few of the things that I'm going to be talking about that I get asked all the time. I have like 70 topics. People ask me this all the time. Like, I love to cook. I love to eat too. It's a whole nother story. But people ask me, how do you tie your head wraps? I'll do that. I'll come on here one week and show you how I tie my head wraps. There's so many different things. I'm telling you, and I'm not just saying it's me. I have so many talent that I have not even tapped into. So do you. But what we do is we sit on them because we're so afraid of failing. We're so afraid of failing. That was another thing. Spending time with my 70-year-old customer, even though, it was his first time buying a home, he was just so wise. He said, I just let the fear paralyze me. He said, and then I just thought about it. He said, I'm renting from this lady. I've been lived here 20 years. I've never paid her rent late. You will rent somewhere, never pay the rent late, but be scared to own your own property. All of these times when we've been in a recession and properties have been dirt cheap. In 2007, the market crashed. How many of us capitalized on buying properties? If you did, those properties are worth probably 10 to 15 times more now. I kept saying, that's not my thing. I'm not a landlord. I don't want to rent. I don't want the hassle. I don't want this. Fear. It is 100% fear of not knowing. We all need to be in a financial position, meaning having investments, multiple streams of income, so that when these types of things happen, you can capitalize on them. And I'm going to tell you something. You need to get to the point to where you are not watching your money is watching you. And what I mean by that is you can open this investment account and just take a look at it. You can open this account, not going through a budget trying to figure out where robbing Peter to pay Paul. You are not born to be without. If you are without, it's one, because you're not trusting God and you're not a good steward over what he gave you. I can guarantee you that. I've met with customers. Hey, Chester. I've met with customers and went over their budget and seen overdrawn accounts every month. Every month they're overdrawn. And I'm like, your money is going somewhere, and it's going to go somewhere until you figure out how to manage it. I've had them come back 3 months later and like, we saved $4,000, simply because they were eating out, they were paying late fees, all these things that are just sucking your money out of your investments. When you're not good stewards over your money, or when you're emotional, like I said, I'm not an emotional shopper. I'm a planner. Just the simple fact that I was buying stuff on a whim told me something was going on with me, because I know me, and you have to get to know yourself. Practice makes perfect. Listen, you cannot have a balanced budget tomorrow if you've mismanaged your money for 10 years. It takes you time to get your finances in order, but you have to be consistent. A bodybuilder does not just get up off the couch like me right now in the state that I'm in and go and compete. No, it takes hours of training. It takes food. You have to eat the right foods. You have to tweak your body. You have to know the right amount of fat, the right amount of protein, the right amount of carbs. I'll be talking about fitness too. And I do plan to have some guests on too, because, I don't know everything, but I do know people who know a lot of things. But I mean, simply, you don't just wake up in the morning and go to a bodybuilding competition and decide that you want to compete. No, you have to train. You have to eat right. You have to get rest. That is one thing that I had to learn, is that you need to rest your body. My mom tells me all the time, you need to get somewhere and sit down. Good. You don't have anything to do today? Good. You need to rest. And she's right. She's absolutely right. Because you know what? If you don't rest your body, God will do it for you. He will put you on your back. And while you're on your back, he'll show you need to take care of you. Nobody is going to take care of you like you. So for 2020, consistency and being persistent is the key. Whatever you want is on the other side of your comfort zone. And 99% of the time, it's not always about money. For me, it's never about money, because I feel like if I'm in the will of God and I'm doing what I need to do, the money will come. And when it comes, you have to be ready for it, because I'm telling you now, I see it every day. If you are not managing what you have now, people say all the time, that's why there's a lot of broke football players. That's why there's a lot of people who win the lottery who end up going broke again. Learn the lesson in the beginning. Learn the lesson before you get the wealth. And like I said, you want to get to the point to where your money is watching you. You're not watching your money. You have to get to ask yourself, why am I lacking? What am I lacking? And how do I fix it? If you don't own a home, of course, that's what I do for a living. I do it every day, and probably in my sleep. I dream about it. If you don't own a home, why? Ask yourself why. It's either fear or finances. It's one or the other. Get to the point to where you are building a generational wealth for your families, leaving a legacy for your families, leaving more than just, we had a speaker, Gwendolyn Shaw, came and spoke to us in Atlanta, and she talked about knowing your number. I'm going to have her on as a guest, for sure. But knowing your number for life insurance. If you have a life insurance policy You need to know how much money your family needs to survive without you. And then you don't want them to just survive, you want them to thrive. When your children get ready to get married and buy a house and all these things, do you have something to help them with? That's where the life insurance and the generational wealth comes in, the equity in your homes, and just simply managing your budget. And are you discussing your finances with your children? Teach your children about money before they become adults, because otherwise they will grow up and mismanage their money, and then they'll be working backwards. People come in to see me all the time that have credit score issues. They went to college, they didn't know anything. They went to the freshman orientation. Hey, Marilyn, thank you. They went to the freshman orientation and signed up for a credit card. Now, what's wrong with that picture? You just went to college. You don't have a job. You don't know that you can pay it. And 99% of the time, all of them maxed it out. So I asked, why didn't you pay the credit card? Oh, I didn't think I had to pay it, or I thought I was going to get a job and I didn't. So now you're working backwards. You come in to see me, you go in to buy a car, and you have bad credit. Teach your children about finances now. Yes, we love to listen, I love my children. We love to shower them with gifts. We love to shower them with, big Christmases, and we love to shower them with all types of things. But I did a financial class with children. They didn't even know how much their Jordans cost. They didn't know how much their basketball registration fee cost. Start to teach them about money, because if you teach them the lesson now, just like us, until you learn the lesson, God will keep bumping your head. If you've repeated something over and over and over again, you haven't learned the lesson yet. It's something else God wants you to know. If you start to teach your children about finances now, they won't have to go down these roads that we went through. Teach them about credit and about student loans, and how to save for a house and how to budget. Like, my son knows, listen, just like I do at work, I need 3 estimates. He knows how to go and look up things. Well, I looked on Amazon, and then I checked on here. If I don't know, if I'll post a picture after everyone is done, after we're done. I had an address on Saturday. I went to a retirement party that I mentioned earlier. The dress was $99.95 in New York and Company. Okay. I had a coupon for 50% off, so it's $50. I had a reward coupon for $40. I paid $18 for the dress. I'm going to post a picture. When the dress arrived, I couldn't send it back because I only paid $18 for it. It wasn't even worth it. It didn't do anything for me. So I redesigned it. I went to the store, I got some tulle, and I had my seamstress add some tulle at the bottom and turned it into a formal dress. The tulle was $20. So I spent $36 on the dress. That's my gift. I love fashion. If you've seen anything on my page, you know that I love clothes. But I don't want to spend a lot of money on my clothes. And if I do, I do. But those are the types of things that God, that's a gift that God has blessed me with. So those are the type of things that you can show your kids. Listen, I don't have to have everything name brand. If I want something name brand, I'll get it. But I'm not gonna sacrifice something I'm not gonna sacrifice my savings. I'm not gonna sacrifice my tithes. I'm not gonna sacrifice my mortgage to get something name brand. Here is a $18 dress with $20 tulle fabric on it that looks like it costs $400. That's all I'm saying. You already have everything that you need. You just have to open your mind. I open my mind. I'm open to all that God has for me to receive. But I'm telling you, I slept on this. I have a list of about 70 topics that I had at the beginning of the year. The year is not over yet. I'm here. And I said to myself, I don't care how many people join me on this live. Hopefully people will watch the replay. But I know in my heart I have something to give to the world, and I'm not going to sit on it anymore. I'm not going to worry about if people think I'm doing the most. I'm just going to focus on what God has for me and order my steps. And he put this on my heart. And I know that that 70-year-old customer that came to me that waited to buy a house was all a part of God's plan, because I said the same thing. Girl, how long you going to sit on the sidelines? How long you going to sit on the couch? And I'm saying this to all of you. How long will you sit by and watch somebody else realize your dream? Sometimes I watch TV and I see things. I'm like, I had that idea years ago, but I didn't act on it, so it wasn't my idea. I had that vision years ago. Sometimes I dream about things. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and write them down. And I know it's not just me. I know it's not just me. I know that God has put something in all of you. And it's not just this is not just about money and houses, but own something. Own something. The American dream is two things. When we were growing up, at least when I was growing up in my age, they would tell us to get an education and own property. We should be able to do both. There is nothing that God will withhold from you if you love and trust him. Now, I have to put this disclaimer out here. I'm a faithful tither. I don't care about what nobody else around me does. I'm running my own race. You have to run your own. But I'm a faithful tither, and I believe within everything within me, you can do more with 90% than you could ever do with 100. Because what happens with your money, I saw an illustration the other day, is that you're too busy holding on to the 90 that you can't get what God has for you because you're holding on to that. And like sands to the hourglass, so will your money go if you don't tithe. That's just me. Your order of financial freedom is 10% to God, pay yourself at least 10%. You should really be paying yourself more. Take care of your financial responsibilities for your family. Make sure your future is secure the bag, and then do all the extra stuff. I love to travel. I love to go on vacations. I love to do all those things, but not at the expense of my family. Our legacy is too important. There's too many things that we have to do. And if I want to birth those 12 businesses that God has put in me, and I'm telling you, he has put 12 in me, and it's burning me up. He's put 12 businesses in me. In order for me to do that, I have to show myself financially sound before I can go before people and, present that I want to do all these things. Plus, I don't want to be the borrower. I want to be the lender. Right now, at my company, I'm the lender. I don't want to be the borrower. I want to be able to help somebody else with their blessing. So, as I mentioned, I'm going to say this again. He did not ask me to do this. He didn't even know I was going to do it till tonight, but I'm going to feature. I see Ola Clark on here. She has a boutique, Oshan Boutique. I've posted pictures of her stuff before. I'll be modeling hers. My sister has her own hair salon. You probably see me rock her wigs. We are talented beyond anybody's belief. And if I'm the only person, hopefully I'm not the only person to get the word out. I'm going to be the one to get the word out. So this is Stay Fresh from Stay Fresh Culture. This is my t-shirt. I love rainbow, if y'all haven't figured that out by now. Besides the color pink and red, rainbow is my favorite color. So when I saw this hat in the rainbow color, I was like, I had to have it. But yes, Ola, just like you said, your money will go through your hand like a bag with holes in it. I'm going to repost the video that I posted. There was a minister in Chicago, Pastor Meeks of Salem Baptist Church. He did an excellent analogy on tithing. And what he did was he had a little girl come up and he was giving her money. He was taking, like, she made $10 and he would take $1 for God and he would give her $9. And he just kept showing the illustration of tithes. And he put God's money over here and her money. And she had so much money. And he said, now try to take the money from God. So he said, okay, your bill is due. Your light bill is due. Your car broke down. You have this big pile of money, the 90%. And you over here trying to take the 10 from God. And all of your money is falling here. You're losing it. It was an excellent analogy because it's the truth. And it's not, God says he'll rebuke the devourer for your sake. It doesn't mean that you're going to not have situations. I've had flat tires. I've had my furnace go out. I've had all types of things happen since you're tithing. I've been sick, all types of little things. Doesn't mean you're not going to have life happens. Life happens. He said he's going to rebuke him for your sake, meaning it might happen to you, but it's not going to get the best of you. So like I said, I would not be who I am today without the Lord. So I would be remiss if I did not mention that part of it. I know my steps are ordered by the Lord. I know that everything that God has for me will come to pass if I'm in his will. That is the other thing too, going into 2020, being consistent and persistent, is be in the will of God. Don't try to get ahead of him. Like I said, we are in a microwave society. We want everything right now. You know, my son is a millennial. He was born in 2000. And I have to explain to him two things. I tell him this all the time. Things might not happen when you want them, but they'll happen on time. And you will never make it in this world by yourself. And that is a lesson for me. Because like I said, I'm afraid to ask for help. I'm admitting it. I'm telling you this right now on Facebook Live. I will do anything for anybody. If you call me, if it's within my means, I'm there. I'm going to try to help you. But when it comes to me asking for help, I'm reluctant. Why is that? It's pride. And sometimes it's my team and I talk about it all the time. Sometimes it's a little bit of ego. We have to check ourselves and check our ego at the door, because on the other side of all of those hang-ups that we have is your blessing. Okay, let me make sure I didn't miss anything before I pause for questions, because I had so much to say today. So I want to go back over this. Your progress, your paycheck, your branding, your network, your finances, your credit, and your relationships depends on you being consistent and persistent. If it's something that you don't like, it's not going to change until you change. If you want to change some things, you have to change some things. I'm looking at Instagram because I'm live on Instagram as well. But you cannot just sit back and see. My husband and I have this saying all the time. Don't come to me with a problem until you have a solution. So before you start to identify problems, start to think about the solution to things. If you don't say something, you'll never get things fixed. If you sit back on it, I used to be, people that know me from a long time ago, I used to just hold stuff in and just never say anything until it just started to eat me up. And then it's like, whoa, who is this Tammy, this outspoken Tammy that's speaking to everybody? You know what? People that matter aren't going anywhere. It's okay for you to disagree and still be friends, still be in a relationship, still be co-workers. You have to speak up. Let's see what else I had on here. Oh, this is the other thing that I had about being consistent. Part-time effort equals part-time results. This is a equation that I use at work all the time. Activity plus effort plus frequency equals results. Point blank, period. Don't tell me what you're doing, show me. You can tell me all day, I go to the gym 5 days a week. Okay, I'm looking at you. You can tell me all day, I eat right. Okay, I'm looking at you. You can tell me all day, I'm saving. Let me see your bank account. When my customers come in, when they're working on their budgets, the proof's in the pudding. All those hours of looking at your budget and going through all your receipts and trying to find out how you're spending your money, it's right there. If you want to know where your money is going, check your bank accounts. You can tell me all day what you're doing. Activity plus effort plus frequency equals results. And that goes for me too. I can't expect to get all my information out. I can't expect people to know I'm licensed in 12 states if I don't tell anybody. The proof is in the pudding. If you're a salesperson and you're not networking, you're not going to grow. Same thing with me. If I'm not making connections in all the 12 states that I'm licensed in, I won't be lending in all the 12 states that I'm licensed in. Consistency is the key no matter what it is. It's just like your relationship. If you are never communicating, your relationship will become stagnant. I just had this conversation with someone today. If you're not communicating, it's stagnant. I'm not a mind reader. That's one gift God did bless me with, is to read minds. So how will I know how you feel if you don't tell me? If my son is not talking to me, guess what? I'm texting him because he's a millennial, and I can text him and he'll respond. Get your message across. Open your heart to receive what God has for you. Stop sitting on the sidelines and settling. You got to be consistent and persistent. Whatever you want is on the other side of your fear, your ego, not asking for help. People tell me all the time, oh, well, I didn't want to come to you because I didn't want you to see my credit report. I look at credit reports for a living. I pride myself on being confidential and not discussing someone's business. That's what I do. When you go into the car dealership to buy a car, what are they looking at? Your credit report. I'd rather for you to come to me first to look at your credit report to tell you how to fix it before you go to get the car. When you go to buy a car and you're desperate and your car broke down and you got to get to work, you don't care about those people looking at your credit report. You just want a car. You have to have that same mindset. Get your finances in order, because finances, I find when I'm dealing with couples, when they come to buy a house or when they're coming to repair their credit, most couples do not get divorced over infidelity. They get divorced over money matters because they are in disagreement about money. I saw Pastor Moore joined us, Charles Moore. Let me tell you something. The best wedding sermon that I heard ever was from him. And he said something that stuck with me. If you can share beds, you can share bank accounts. That summed it up. How are you going to lay down with somebody at night and not discuss your finances? If you can share a bed with somebody, you can share bank accounts. Guess what? When you go to get a divorce, the courts are going to divide it up anyway. That is what's stopping you from achieving what God has for you. All of this separation and secrecy and shame. If your husband don't know what your credit score is, shame on you. You should have discussed that before you even went to the altar. Because guess what? I look at me and my husband. We both can't be shopping. He's a saver. He doesn't like to shop. My son doesn't like to shop. Now, if everybody in the house is shopping, we got a problem. You need to know those things before you get to the altar. You need to have those discussions before. You need to know if you want to pursue your business, or if those 12 businesses that are in me, if I want to pursue them, if he's going to be okay with that. I've discussed that with him. It's time out for fronting. That, to me, that's 99% of our problem. We get on here on Facebook. You guys see the pictures. I post pictures. I love clothes. That's why I post pictures, because I love clothes. Sue me. But that's not my life. That's like a highlight reel. You don't know what I deal with day to day. Nobody knows what you deal with day to day. And really, nobody cares. Because you know what? We're all dealing with our own situations. One of my friends told me years ago, she said, who do you think, I was married before and I got a divorce. And I said, well, the people. She goes, girl, what people? She said, who do you think thinks about you like that? People are not, you're not the top. You should not be the top of someone else's priority list. You should be at the top of your priority list. Because guess what? If you are together, if your life is good, you exude that to everybody else. If you're a mess, your message is a mess. So you have to make sure that your message is on point, because you never want to be a stumbling block to someone else. I don't want somebody looking at me and saying, oh, Tammy, I'm going to go spend this money because Tammy ain't breaking no bank. Tammy's paying her bills. Tammy's saving. Tammy's tithing. before she buys anything. So don't look at someone else, because you never know what people are going through. And 99% of the time, you don't care. And it's not your business. It's not your business. So for 2020, be consistent and persistent. Whatever you consistently do, you perfect. So if you're constantly hating on yourself, if you're constantly negative, if you're constantly feeding yourself all of this negative energy, you will perfect that. Change that narrative. Let people see, like, oh my God, remember she used to be so negative and she's just always so positive. Every day that I wake up, I have on my mirror, what are you grateful for? Who are you grateful to? And find something to be grateful for, because you cannot complain and be grateful in the same sentence. So start to find something good. Sometimes I smile. I'll have a big old smile on my face and tears rolling down my eyes. Not because I'm sad, because I'm grateful. Like I'm so thankful for the things that God has done. Like a month ago, my mother was in the hospital. She's home. Like there's so much for us to be grateful for, instead of just trying to find something wrong with everything. Just be consistent and persistent in 2020. If you have any questions, post them. If you want help, reach out to me. I put everything in the description. I am a credit coach. I am a mortgage coach. I'm a motivational speaker. I do credit seminars. I am licensed in 12 states. There is no excuse for you not to have what God has for you. So on the other side of the ego and the pride and the shame of not asking for help and the fear, you know what? The time will pass you by anyway. 20 years, the 70-year-old couple rented. Yes, we could go back and say 20 years ago they could have owned a house for home for 20 years, but guess what? They're acting on it now. So if they're 70 years old, and I mean, he's fearless like a 30-year-old. He was like, you know what? I'm still alive. I'm still breathing. I'm going to own me a house before I leave this earth. It just did something to me. I'm like, I'm sitting back here. Have so many things. People ask me, inbox me, do this. Can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? And here I am. God told me at the beginning of the year, gave me over 70 topics of what I could talk about or things that I could help people with. And it's November. But guess what? The year's not over. And I'm not going to go into 2020 not being consistent about what God has given me to give to you. And you should not do the same either. Because just as he blessed me with gifts, he's blessed you too. You just haven't tapped into them, or you're second guessing yourself. You're second guessing. Can I do it? Can I do it? Listen, if you say you can or you can't, you're right. Either way. So say you can. Say you can do it. Say you can change. Say 2020 is going to be your year. 2020 is a year of perfect vision. All of the cloudiness, all of the murkiness, all of the storms, all of the things that has come together has prepared you for what God has for you in 2020. So I hope that this has helped you. It has helped me. I feel so relieved. I feel like I'm walking in my purpose, but I'm going to be consistent and persistent, which means I'll be back. So if you don't come back for anything else, come back each week or every Tuesday that I'm here to see who I'm going to be rocking, because I am going to be repping a lot of Black-owned businesses with pride and small businesses, because like I said, if we have to be the change we want to see, and if we don't do it, who will? So that's all I have tonight. Jocelyn said doors to the church are open. Amen. I mean, thank you, Jocelyn. I just feel like, you know, we're just so talented beyond our measure, but we find so many things wrong with ourselves. And I do it to myself. It's like, with all the clothes that I have, and this is the truth, this is a transparent moment. I will say I don't have nothing to wear, and my husband will be like, it's not possible. That's just not possible. But you know what I'll do? I don't look right in this, or I don't know if I should wear this, or this don't fit me right. Find something right about yourself. Find something good about yourself. I can't be mad at myself if the last month I haven't worked out consistently and be mad that I gained weight. Yeah, my I've been dealing with other things that are more important. I'm okay with that. But you can't be okay with being mediocre when you know greatness is in you. Don't be like Jonah. Don't let God have to get you swallowed up and dump you where you're supposed to be. Be obedient and go where you're supposed to go. And that's happened to me too. It's happened to me. And I panic. I jump the gun. I second guess myself. I do all of those things. But I seek God. And I know that what he has for me, he will make a way for it to happen. Like everybody says, I see all the Facebook quotes that you guys put. God will put you in front of, put you at a table that you don't deserve to be at. That's me. All of that is me. All of that is you. You are wise. You are talented. You are gifted beyond all of your wildest dreams. You're instead of you dreaming at night, you're having nightmares. Tell the Lord to put the dreams in you to let them come to pass. You decide you want to do something, and before you get out the door, you've talked yourself out of it. That's not of God. That's not trusting him. You decide you want to start a business, and before you get to the bank to ask for the money, you have talked yourself out of going to the bank. Well, they're not going to give me no money, or they're going to see me walk up in here. You don't know what God has put on those people's heart. I can share this with you. I had a customer, my team, I don't know if they're on here or not, but I had a customer. Listen, y'all, I said, there's no way I'm going to be able to close this lady's loan. It was just, she was like, this is my house. Every little stuff just started coming up. Never wavered. This is the house God has for me. You know what I did? I prayed because I realized it's above me. I'm just the vessel that he uses. I said, Lord, if it's for her, show me. If it's for her, soften the hearts of the underwriter. Soften the hearts of the seller's attorney to give her a credit. Soften her. If it's not for her, if it's not in your will, don't let it be. Because the last thing that I want is to see you after a closing and see you in financial trouble or you're in foreclosure or something. That breaks my heart. Okay. So the lady, she was just consistent. She had to go to court for something dealing with her loan. It normally takes, her attorney said, oh, she won't ever be able to get that. It takes 3 weeks. She got a court date in 1 day. Now, me, I had to take a step back. It was above me. That was her time. Sometimes you cannot explain things that happen to you. When God is ready to move on your behalf, and I'm a witness, things will fall into place. He will move on your behalf, and you will get what he has for you. So listen, you are not big enough. You are not bad enough. You are not smart enough to outsmart God on what he has for you. Everything, every step in my life, I tell myself this all the time. My husband and I talk about it. Every step in my life was ordered by God. I am not smart enough to chart my own path. Every heartache, every stumbling block, every no, every door being closed put me right here today. Had anything had to went any different, it would have changed the trajectory of my blessing. You have to know that your steps are ordered by the Lord, but the steps of a good man. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. You are not smart, big, and brave enough to outsmart God. So stop trying. Take a step back. Be faithful over the few things. Come to me to buy a house and have all these overdrafts. You know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to send you away because I'm not a dream killer. I'm going to help you get your life in order, get your finances in order, get your budget in order, because the blessings of the Lord make it rich and addeth no sorrow. And you can't come in and say, you want a $1,500 mortgage and you paying $1,000 now and you don't have $500 in the bank. I can say this on every live. Listen, if you want something, Prove to God that you're able to handle it. If you have $1,000 mortgage and you want a $1,500 mortgage, immediately start saving $500 a month. If you cannot save $500 a month, you are not ready for the jump. Why? Because every month that mortgage company coming for their payment. They don't want to hear that you had to have a car payment or whatever. Same thing with the business. You want to start a business, you want to open a restaurant, do your homework. Do the research. Running a business is tough. Trust me. There's up cycles, there's down cycles. There's feast, there's famine. There's times in the wintertime, when it's 5 feet of snow outside, everybody's not out looking for a house. There's a few people that have to move that are out looking for houses. Realtors will tell you, you need to store up for the winter months. Just like they did in the Bible, there was feast and famine. When you have down times in your business, you need to know when the down times are so you can store up. Don't spend every penny you get. And here's my last point, because I promise y'all, I'm going to get off. Invest in yourself. How can you expect somebody to invest in you if you don't invest in yourself? If you have a business, you know, everybody on my team has another stream of income. I encourage them to have multiple streams of income. I am not their end all be all. Talented beyond measure. Lily has her own sweet treats. Jewel is gifted, can do a million things. Aaron has his own t-shirt business. It's like everybody on my team has something else that they can do. But you have to invest in yourself. Don't come to me to invest in you until you've shown me that you can invest in yourself. Activity plus effort plus frequency equals results. What you do on a consistent basis, you perfect. So if you beat yourself up on a consistent basis, you will become a beat down person. If you get up every morning and you're negative and stinking thinking, you will perfect that. Even on the worst days that you feel horrible about yourself, find something right. There's always something right going on in your life. 1, you woke up. 2, you have breath in your body. And 3, you live another day. So that means as long as you have breath in your body, just like my 70-year-old customers that have breath in their bodies, they said, I'm still breathing, I'm gonna go buy this house. Because like my customer told me, this is the other thing he told me. He said, I have a son, same thing. All he's ever seen daddy do was rent. So that's all he's doing is renting. He said, if nothing else, if I buy a house, I will encourage him to buy a house. And he said, and if I don't, when I leave this earth, he can have mine. I'm breaking generational curses. I said, well, you go ahead. Do you see how what your children see you do is what they will do. So show them something different. 2020, the year of consistency and persistence. Whatever God has put in you to birth that thing. Bring it to life in 2020. Like I said, in 2000, when we all thought 1999 party's over, we here 20 years later, and the time has passed you by anyway. So whatever it is in you that you want to do, it is not too late. Like I said, next year I'm going to be 50 years old. I'm just beginning. Normally, somebody would say, well, girl, if you haven't achieved, I have a boutique in me. I want to design fashion. I want to design clothes, Ola, for you to sell for me. I mean, it's like I have so many ideas, so many different gifts that I have been blessed with. My entire family is gifted. And like I said, it's not just me, it's you. I see gifts in all of you. Sometimes people on the outside can see more in you than you see in yourself. Be open to receive it. I used to be embarrassed to get a compliment. People would compliment me and I would shriek up. But I give compliments out all day. That we're afraid to ask for help, and we're so used to giving that we don't know how to receive. So when someone compliments you or speaks life over you, say thank you. Okay? So let me see if I have any questions before I go. My video ended on Instagram because I was on there an hour, but if no one has any questions, I will see you next week. Ola says she's ready, and yep, 50 and fabulous. I had this whole, I'll tell y'all about that later. But I'm going to post pictures of my dress because I want you to see that you don't have to spend a ton of money on things. Like I said, I got the dress for $18. I put tulle at the bottom of it. And, you know, you might see me and you might see high end, low end, you might see everything. I just want to feel good in what I have on, you know, feel good about me. And if you guys like it, wonderful, that's a bonus. But I want to feel good about myself because I spent so many years beating myself up. I spent so many years with low self-esteem. I spent so many years not feeling worthy or pretty or whatever. So every day that I wake up, I change the narrative. I tell myself something positive about myself, and I try to tell somebody else something positive about them. So I thank you all for joining me tonight. Again, every week or every time that I'm on live, I will feature a Black boutique or a small business, clothing, hair salon, whatever. I'll have my sister's wigs on, whatever, because if we don't change the narrative, who will? So we have to be the change that we want to see in the world. And Lord knows, if don't nobody else support you, I'm going to support you. So thank you all for joining me tonight. Peace out. Have a good night. Thank you for joining me on Tuesday Tidbits. Can you like and subscribe to my channels? I put them in there. I'm on YouTube. I have Tammy P. Moore and Associates on Facebook, Diamond Residential on Facebook, and I am on Instagram at Tammy P. Moore. So if you can like and subscribe to my channels, I'll be sharing this, putting this video on YouTube, and share the video with your family and friends if there's information. As the videos go along, I will be getting specific into credit repair, budget, fashion, head wraps, all those different things. It'll be something different to look forward to every week. But, you know, hopefully this was something informative for you and information. And I thank you all for those that joined me and those that remained on here. And like I said, I will post the videos the pictures of the dress on here so you can see that and just see that, you know, just use your imagination. You don't always need money. And you know what? I always say whether I have $5 or $1 million, I'm going to look like Tammy. So it's not always about money and how much things cost. So Valerie, thank you. I'm glad those words resonated with you tonight. And I thank you all for joining me. I've been on here my hour. So continue to post your questions in the feed. I will answer them if there's any questions that need to be answered. And from the bottom of my heart and giving glory, all glory to God, I thank you all for joining me tonight. Peace out, for real this time.